at this going here.
Now you have no proof of my my admission there.
I have no. Our proof is not on recording. No, but it was a good question. Okay, vamos a empezar. Muy buenos días, buenos días. Espero que ustedes sobrevivan bien. I hope you guys are surviving well. You know, somebody had asked me if, I have friends in other parts of the country who are, seeing these news reports of frying eggs on the sidewalk and, all that stuff that we see on occasion. And at first I was saying last week at this time, it was like, yeah, we always have a week like this. And now it's like, this is getting old. Yeah. 110 plus is getting kind of old. Okay. Vamos a practicar muchísimo. We're going to practice a lot with our reflexives and with when those little pronouns of mete, no sé, and really any other pronouns may kind of shimmy around to different places. Why does that happen? We're going to take a look at that. And we're going to take a little look at our lo que business too. But we're going to start with something that is about refreshment in the heat. Because as ordering a nice coffee in the morning is a thing for a lot of people, or tea or whatever it is that you drink. So it is in Spain. And we've got a little short video that is talking about the summer orders and how this one item is different. You know, when you get an iced coffee, it's a little different. Oh, we're going to see how. And well, we won't know why, just that it is different. Okay, but listen for some stem changers, listen for, everything, piecing the information together. Aquí vamos, here we go. Es un video corto, it's a short video. España, cuando pides un café, when you ask for coffee, but this is when you ask for an iced coffee.
España, cuando pides un café frío o un café con hielo, que aquí lo llamamos así, café con hielo, no te traen un café directamente frío.
No te traen un café directamente frío. They don't bring you a coffee that is already cold. You know, when you go to any, and you get an iced coffee, yeah? Con hielo is with ice. Con hielo, with ice, okay? So you're going to see how it is served here, and it is different.
Es diferente.
Es diferente.
Aquí lo traen por separado, entonces.
Aquí lo traen separados. Here they bring them to you separately. Yeah. Separados. El café, pero separados. Separated. Ajá.
El café, si te gusta con azúcar. Azúcar, lo mezclas.
Lo mezclas, and this lo is the it word. Lo mezclas, you stir it. Stir it. Yeah, stir it. Mix it. Okay.
Lo mezclas, lo mezclas, lo mezclas.
You mix it a lot.
Y después tienes un vaso con hielo.
Tienes un vaso con hielo. Oh, you get a separate. Here's a separados part. You get a separate glass with ice in it. So it is not served to you in one glass.
Y lo echas en el vaso.
Lo echas en el vaso. Echar is to throw, but it also means to add something in as an ingredient. Lo echas, sí, lo echas en el vaso. You toss it into the glass. Yeah. And here the lo is the it word. You toss it. What do you toss? It. Lo. El café.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sí. Wow. Es el café caliente. This is hot and it's thrown right onto the ice. So that's not going to be immediately super cold, is it? Like it is here. No. A ver.
Yo me lo voy a comer con unos churros para desayunar. ¿Tú qué has desayunado hoy? Cuéntamelo en los comentarios.
Bien. Okay. Vale. So you got the little intro of how it is different. It's brought in two separate glasses, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't think anybody does that here. En Estados Unidos, no. ¿Verdad? No pido normalmente, no pido normalmente el café frío, pero me fijo en el café frío de otras personas que es un vaso, solamente un vaso. Ok, pero diferente, different in certainly different in the Spanish serving. But notice one thing we're going to look at first before we do our reflexives is this little lo word. And lo can be used a few different ways. So lo we know as an object pronoun it, como por ejemplo, lo tengo, I have it. Okay, un café. And lo can also be combined with adjectives or with lo que. It can be combined in some different ways. So we want to take a look at that first today. And after that, we'll take a look at more of our reflexives. One of the things I asked you to do was to pick out 10 verbs off their big reflexive list that are useful to you personally, because that really is the name of the game. It depends on what you would use more, and bring me some of your examples. So we will be doing that later, but we're going to take a look at this little word lo and how it may morph into different uses. And it kind of depends on how you combine lo. You have to listen for how lo is combined with other words, because lo out of context has a bunch of meanings, but you don't really know what it is out of context. So, por ejemplo, you heard a lot of lo. Aquí, lo mejor de España en este video. This little homework video was the best of Spain, right? We can take lo with a description word. Lo with a description word can mean something other than a direct object. So we're going to take a look at this first. Y del video, sí, ¿dónde está Alicante? Where is this place Alicante, right, that he was talking about? Está aquí en el sur de España. It's down here in the south. It's right down here, Alicante. It is a vacation place. It is a seaside town, a vacation place. See, you heard him using that term guiri. Guiri is kind of the gringo word, but in Spain. So guiri is a foreigner. Los extranjeros. And this tells you a little bit because he had some references to hogueras. This whole thing of burning stuff down seems to be a thing with Spain. There are a lot of cities in Spain who do this burn it down thing as a holiday thing. But the day he visited was one of the hogueras days. And when he talks about hogueras, it's talking about these bonfires. And this is like a midsummer, like a summer solstice thing, really, I think you would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and they'll build up little figures of usually entertaining paper mache or wooden figures as decorations to set in different town plazas, different areas of town. And then they're typically burned down. But the Midsummer's Eve at solstice time is when this happens in a number of cities, and Alicante was one. And then chiringuitos. Chiringuitos are the little seaside stands where people sell drinks and foods and stuff like that. Bien. Okay. Pero lo importante, the big thing here is our lo words. So let's get back to lo. Lo can be described with an adjective, a descriptive word, okay? And it means the blah, blah thing. See? Lo bueno. And we always combine it with a masculine word. You don't, masculine is just going to be the default here, always with this. So to say the good thing, it's lo bueno. See, to say the best thing, lo mejor. To say the hard thing about the difficult thing, lo difícil. The worst thing, lo peor. Lo bonito, the pretty thing. See? Bien? Entonces, but it's always the masculine word. And you can't really tell here from, mejor, difícil, these are the words, peor, these are the words that we use them both for masculine and feminine. But you will notice it with those adjectives, descriptive words that end in o. Okay? Lo bueno, lo bonito. And you'll notice the title up here was Lo mejor de España, the best thing about Spain, the best thing. Vale. Entonces, therefore, we're going to look at some examples. How do we use it? And let's see if you can plug it into some ideas, if you prepped some ideas. En el video, Juan habló de lo mejor de España, the best thing about Spain. He was saying it's not the seaside drink stands, it's not the bands, it's not the hogueras, it's the people, okay? Lo mejor de España es la gente. The best thing about Spain is the people. But let's look at other ways we can use it with, a number of descriptions. Lo bueno de Arizona es su clima en el invierno. Y fíjense, por favor, please notice, fíjense, por favor, en el invierno. In the winter, no? Bien, the good thing. And in English, we add this word thing, okay? Lo bueno de Arizona es su clima en el invierno. Lo bonito de Cancún es la cantidad de playas hermosas. The pretty thing, the nice thing, yeah? We could translate bonito as a nice, but it's always something good, right? The cute thing, the pretty thing, the nice thing. The nice thing about Cancún is the quantity of beautiful beaches. Lo interesante de Nueva York es su comida de todas partes del mundo. The interesting thing about New York is its food from
all over the world.
All over the world. Yeah, we would say all over the world or everywhere in the world. See, de todas partes, of all parts. That's our way of saying everywhere or all over. Yeah, all over and everywhere in English mean the same thing. See, bien. Lo único del Gran Cañón es su vista de toda la piedra antigua. The unique thing about the Grand Canyon is its view of all the ancient rock. Vale. Bueno. Entonces, sí. Oh, we're not going to go on to lo que yet, but lo with a description. ¿Tienen ustedes algunas ideas de cómo hablamos de un lugar? How could we talk about a place and say the boom, boom thing? Por ejemplo, lo lo interesante, Lo interesante del desierto es la cantidad de flores en la primavera. The pretty thing about the desert is the quantity or the amount of flowers in springtime, por ejemplo. Okay. Otras ideas. Do you have any other ideas about talking about the something thing? And it could be talked about here, about any other place.
I have a question rather than an idea. So
Okay.
like those examples, the nice thing, the interesting thing, does that imply the most interesting or the most, the nicest, or is it just saying something is nice?
It doesn't really say the most.
Would you use like
you
a
would
word
have to
like
include-
would you use a word like lo más bonita?
See, you would have to say the most, you would have to inject that word más. Sí, lo más interesante de nuestro estado, the most interesting thing about our state. Okay? Instead of just saying lo interesante, lo más interesante, the most interesting. Lo más interesante del estado de Arizona es la combinación de montañas y desiertos. It's a combination of mountains and deserts. Por ejemplo. So to say the most something, we have to inject one little extra word after lo más. Sí, se puede. You can do that. But people use it without más, just with the descriptive word quite a lot. Okay, vale. Bien. Otros ejemplos. Hay otros ejemplos. Are there any other examples that you have on that? Or no?
Oh, I have one. I'm sorry.
Está bien. Está bien, Cindy. That's okay.
Lo mejor sobre de Arizona is el invierno.
Es el invierno. Sí, lo mejor de Arizona. And we don't need a sobre in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in English, we say about.
Uh-huh.
That didn't even occur to me. So it's good that you're bringing this up. We don't need that word sobre. Lo mejor de, we do need the word de, ¿sí?
Uh-huh.
Lo mejor de Arizona, lo mejor de Arizona es el invierno. The best thing about Arizona is the winter. Sí, exacto. Ok. Vale. Por ejemplo, yo tengo parientes. ¿Qué son parientes? Parientes son miembros de la familia. Bien, pero muy no es específico, sí, solamente miembros, tíos, hermanos, suegros, cuñados, nietos, todo. Ok. Mis parientes que viven en Florida, me dicen, they tell me, lo mejor de Florida es el océano, es la playa. Lo mejor de Florida es el océano. Bien, ok. Lo peor, the worst thing. ¿Qué podemos? También lo mejor, the best, también lo peor, the worst. ¿Algunas ideas?
It's the same. Lo peor de Arizona es verano.
Es el verano, sí. claro. Lo peor de Arizona es el verano. The worst thing about Arizona is the summer. Es cierto. Claro. Lo peor de Arizona es la temperatura en julio y agosto. Exacto. Lo peor de Arizona es el peligro, the danger, el peligro de incendios, the danger of wildfires.
Mhm.
¿Eh? Exacto. And we can combine it with any description. Also,
Could you use lo mal, like a mal bad? Lo mal,
lo malo.
lo malo.
We have to turn it into that masculine form. We can't do the cutoff of the O from mal. Mal is badly. So, lo malo. Okay. Bien.
Lo malo de Wisconsin es muchas personas gordas.
Ay, a ver, de verdad. Wow.
Comer,
¿Te
comer.
fijas en el número de gordos en tu estado?
Ujú,
Wow.
ujú.
Wow. Ok, vale. Bien.
Brasa y queso.
Es por el queso de Wisconsin. Is that on account of cheese? Es por el queso.
Queso. Ujú.
Sí, no sé.
All dairy.
Quesos.
Productos lácteos. Productos lácteos. Dairy products. Ok, vale. ¿Cuáles son otras ideas? Any other ideas that you had with lo? Any ways we could use lo or no? Bien.
About, oh, about lo difícil aprender español cuando no tengo amigas que hablen español.
Sí. Lo difícil de hablar español o de aprender español es cuando no tengo compañeras de conversación, de platicar. Sí, sí, eso es. Otro ejemplo, lo difícil del español es el subjuntivo. The hard thing about Spanish is subjunctive. A hard thing you guys haven't really done very much. A few of you have done some of it. Lo difícil del español es la cantidad el cambio de los verbos. The way all those verbs change. Sí, lo difícil, the hard part of Spanish for some people. Bien, sí. Bueno. Por ejemplo, lo bonito de Colorado, sí, es la sierra, is the mountain range. Por ejemplo, sí. Lo difícil, let's make it the most difficult thing. Lo más difícil de vivir en Wisconsin es la nieve. La nieve. The hardest thing about living in Wisconsin is the snow.
Ujú.
Es la nieve. Bien, sí. Lo más difícil de vivir en Florida es un huracán.
Hurricanes.
Lo más difícil, the most difficult is, hurricane, ¿sí? Es la temporada del huracán, por ejemplo. Bien. Hay otro ejemplo. Is there any other example? o no?
No.
Nada, nada. Bien.
Nada.
¿Alguna pregunta? Any question?
What do you think the best ways to remember to use this? Lo bueno, lo mejor, lo difícil. Are there a limited amount of things you can say with that?
Oh, no, actually, you could tie to any description. Lo complicado de las matemáticas, the complicated thing about math, es calcular sin calculadora, sin una máquina. ¿Bien?
Sí, sí.
Sí. We can use it really with any. Por ejemplo. Yeah, really, it's kind of like the possibilities are endless. They're as endless as there are descriptive words. See, lo peligroso, dangerous, not danger, but dangerous. Lo peligroso de manejar un carro es todo el tráfico en la carretera, is all the traffic on the highway. See? Por ejemplo, por ejemplo, ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? Lo fácil, the easy thing. Lo fácil de viajar es reservar un hotel por internet. The easy thing about traveling is booking something online.
Mhm.
Sí. Así. Bien. Más preguntas. Any other questions or examples that you have?
I have a question.
That's okay. Sí. Dime.
No, it's really, I guess, just a comment. When you say low in my English brain or my American brain, whatever, I think of low as being it's the beginning of a sentence.
Okay.
But I'm just saying,
Lo never really means the. Los and las mean the. Lo combined with a description will be the description thing. See?
I know it's just I know it means it, but it just
it means
the beginning of the sentence but
yeah,
it's no big deal. I just
it depends on how you combine that word lo. What are you combining it with? What are you combining lo with? Is lo just sitting in front of a verb? Then it is receiving the action of the verb. So let's look at that example. See? Okay. El café lo tomo por la mañana. Coffee, I drink it in the morning. Lo tomo por la mañana. Lo tomo por la mañana.
lo said lo toma.
Take in. It, I drink. Lo tomo. I drink it.
Yeah.
See? El español, Spanish, lo entiendo. Muy bien. I understand it. Lo entiendo. So we have to look at what am I combining lo with? It goes back to this idea of the word lo in isolation does absolutely nothing for you.
Yeah.
The word lo can never be used in isolation all by itself.
Right.
So we have to look at what are we combining lo with. If I'm combining it with right in front of a verb, it's telling you what is receiving the action. Mi programa favorito lo veo los lunes. My favorite show, I watch it on Mondays. Lo veo, I watch it. It, I watch. It, I watch. But I only know that lo means it because I'm combining it with a verb.
All right.
Lo tomo. Okay. Lo veo, I watch. See? Lo entiendo, I understand it. So it's, what am I combining lo with? What, how does it's got to hang together like spit with something else to take on a meaning. Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, like,
But
the next word is really the, yeah. Okay.
Eso.
But it's not always a verb.
No.
It's not
Next
always
word.
a verb, right? Lo may not hang together with spit, like spit with a verb. So when it doesn't, it takes on a different meaning and it shifts into something that does not mean it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, por ejemplo, otro ejemplo. Lo hermoso. The beautiful thing, lo hermoso. Here's another word. When I combine lo with a description, hermoso. Okay. Now lo can no longer mean it, receiving action. Okay. I can use lo, but with, strictly speaking, a masculine descriptive word. Entonces, lo hermoso de San Francisco, lo hermoso de San Francisco es
Hermoso.
lo
Hermoso.
hermoso, the beautiful thing. Now it
Okay.
becomes the beautiful thing. Lo hermoso de San Francisco son las colinas, are the hills.
Okay.
¿Sí? Por ejemplo, lo hermoso de San Diego es la playa.
Okay.
Lo hermoso de Hawái es el océano. Así, like that. Lo hermoso de Hawái es el paisaje, is the landscape, meaning all the land that's around you. See? Bien. So what do we combine that word lo with? That is what we have to look at, how that word lo hangs together with something else for lo to take on any meaning. Because by itself, it doesn't mean a whole lot. And out of context, you got no clue really what it means. Okay, bien. So
that's helpful.
okay, bien. Me gusta. Bueno, I like that. Yeah, it's helpful for me to know because when you say, my English brain, your brain does make that connect. It is totally normal.
Okay.
For your brain to be, it's already got these connections. They're there. They've been set up for a lot of years. So you can't help it, right? No hay remedio. There's no way around it. Okay, let's look at something else. So we can use lo hanging together with a verb. Then it means it. We can use lo with a description. See? to say the something thing. Lo feo de, the ugly thing about. Lo feo de, the ugly thing about. Bien. Lo bonito de, the pretty thing about. Lo complicado de, the complicated thing about. Lo difícil de, the difficult thing about. Lo mejor de, the best thing about. Okay. Lo peor de, the worst thing about. And now lo is hanging not with a verb, but with a description. And now look at what else lo can hang out with from this same video. Lo que. Lo que is yet a little bit different. It's another twist. But again, we've got to be listening for how lo combines with whatever word it's mashed up with, whatever word it's hanging with. Lo que más me gusta. Lo que más me gusta de España. What I most like about. Lo que, when that hangs together, we've got to be listening for a whole little mini sentence afterwards. This is harder. This is harder. But now the combination is not lo with tomo, a verb. It is not lo with a descriptive word, right? It is lo que, and specifically lo que. Okay? All right, let's take a look at what lo que does. Lo que. And we had our last set of the slides that I sent you. So we're going to take a look at this. And in that video about Alicante, you heard not just lo mejor, the best thing. You also heard lo que quite a lot. Lo que specifically means the thing that. The thing that. And lo might combine with que. Lo is a neutro, is a neuter here. So we would think, oh, lo, that must be masculine. But here again, it is classified as a neutral, non-gendered word. Okay. But it's going to have a verb hanging around after it. And it's not lo with the verb like lo tomo, lo entiendo, lo veo. It's not that. It's lo que. Lo que noto es que todos se ponen el sombrero en el verano. What, or the thing that. Actually, I'm going to annotate this a little bit. In English, we also use the word what. The thing that I notice. We might say this in English as the thing that I notice or what I notice, but not what as a question. Yeah. Lo que noto, what I notice, or the thing that I notice, es que todos is that everybody, see, everybody puts on a hat. Es que todos se ponen el sombrero en el verano. What I notice is that everybody wears a hat in the summertime. Okay. Or the thing that I notice. Okay. What I notice, and let's annotate that. Popped me into my English. All right, so there are a couple ways we might phrase that in English. Lo que quiero es un vaso de cerveza bien fría. What I want, the thing that I want, is a nice cold beer. See?
That's
Lo que-
useful.
But notice it's lo que with a verb with a little mini phrase attached to it. See? Okay. And you'll notice what he said here was lo que más me gusta, what I like the best, or what I like the most. Lo que más me gusta. Bien. So any kind of a verb phrase. No entiendo lo que pasa aquí. I don't understand what is happening here. You know, you come upon some kind of weird thing going on in a neighborhood or whatever. No entiendo lo que pasa aquí. We could change that to something like no entiendo lo que dices. I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, lo que dices, what you're saying, right? Lo que is what, or the thing that. Quiero decirte, I want to tell you, quiero decirte lo que me gusta de Scottsdale. I want to tell you the thing I like about Scottsdale. I'm going to tell you what I like. What I like. Yeah. What I like. The thing that I like is lo que me gusta. Lo que me gusta. Así. Bien.
So it can go in the beginning of those sentences. It can go in the middle of the sentence.
I see. Exacto. Yes. Because you learn something in the book and then somebody changes the order of the words and they're throwing you a curveball, but they don't really mean to throw you a curveball. They don't mean to throw you a curveball. It's just what occurs to them as it occurs in their brain. So the lo que may lead off the sentence, but the lo que can be buried in the middle with whatever is trailing afterwards. Okay, so bien, like you had here with that sentence, es lo que más me gusta. See, eso tampoco, this isn't what I like best. And he's around the beach. This isn't what I like the best. Esto tampoco, and the tampoco means not either. Esto tampoco es lo que me gusta de España. This isn't what I like best about Spain either. So how we combine lo, what we combine lo with, what words lo hangs around with, will color and change what that phrase will mean. Es así, it's just that way. Bien? Okay? Vale? So
Can I ask a question?
Sí,
Quick
sí,
one.
claro.
Back where he says eso ese tampoco. This isn't what I like about. I was just wondering. I remember doing with tampoco and también. Why would you use that in that sentence?
The tampoco word?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it means not either. Okay. Bien. Tengo una explicación. I do have an explanation. So let me put this up on screen because if you're trying to do mental gymnastics, it's hard. If you see it, it's now this is what she's asking about. Why do we have this word tampoco in there? What the heck is that doing? The tampoco means not either. And what did he do in that video? He gave a long list. What I like. Oh, what do I like best? It started off with what do I like best? And the title was Lo mejor de España, the best thing just lo mejor, right? But when we jump ahead to this, let me turn them on here with this.
Cerveza, la cerveza bien fría en verano, me encanta, me encanta.
And I have to let it roll a little bit.
La tortilla de patatas, hombre, por supuesto, la tortilla.
And
la
tortilla is
de
an
patatas
omelet for
con
them.
Cebolla, siempre con cebolla. Tampoco las tapas, la cerveza, tampoco eso.
Not that either. He's giving a list of things. So instead of saying, I like this, I like, always, oh no, this isn't the best, this isn't the best, this isn't the best either. It's not the best either. When you are adding on extra items and you're saying, oh, not this one either off this list, that word not either is tampoco. That is when you've got a list. Okay, otro ejemplo. But it's got to be talking about something in a negative way. Okay,
Right.
so if somebody says, no me gusta el café. I don't like coffee. And you want to say, oh, I don't like it either in a negative way. I'm adding myself to this list. A mí tampoco, not me either. You might say, no como pescado. I don't eat fish. Yo tampoco, me either. I don't eat fish either. Tampoco is always used as a negative add-on, not something either. In this case, he was talking about what so here you have one tampoco, right?
Esto no es lo que más me gusta de España.
Not what I like the best.
Mar, la playa,
The sea, the beach,
el cielo azul,
the blue sky.
Y cómo no, claro, los chiringuitos,
And
en la playa, ¿no? Todo
beach
eso está muy
bars.
bien. Me encanta el verano en España, pero no. Esto tampoco.
And notice he's talking in a negative way. No. This is not the best either. Yeah. He's adding
Yes.
things onto his list. This isn't the best either. No. Eso tampoco. Not this either. Not this one either. So he's enumerating all the things. Okay.
Esto tampoco es lo que más me gusta de España.
This is not the best thing. This is not what I like most either. Not what I like most either.
No. Hay una cosa que me gusta más.
There's something that I like more or better. And I think we got to get through a little bit because we've got a lot of views.
Lo mejor,
The best thing.
lo mejor de España.
The best thing about Spain.
Lo mejor de España son Lo mejor de España son los españoles. Lo mejor
The best thing about Spain is the Spaniards, is the people.
de España es la gente.
The best thing about Spain is the people. Oh, yes, es. Boy, that cut out quickly. Okay. Vale, bueno. So, we have to listen for the message in the entirety of that message. But sometimes it's nice to go back and pick apart, ooh, what exactly, how exactly is he using all those little combinations of lo? How exactly is he combining them to convey that message? So, bien, let's take a look at some, see.
Is that a strange way to say that, the way he did it? Or is
Not
that
at all.
normal?
Very normal.
Okay.
Very normal.
It-
Very normal.
I was following it, but I wasn't sure I was getting it right because it seemed an odd way from the English side to say that.
Yeah. Well, we add words in. You know, we have that word thing, which again doesn't mean a whole lot by itself, does it? You know, thing, nothing, anything, everything. Oh, the thing is, the thing is, I never understood that. The thing is, I couldn't understand why he was using lo so much. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at maybe a few other examples of how we plug this in. So hopefully it feels a little more natural. Yeah. Uy, a ver. Okay. And I hesitated to give this to you because this whole thing is in Spanish. It really isn't hard to understand, but it's kind of long. But some of the examples that she's got are really very good. This is a whole video. I will send you the link to it. Some of you might find it a little bit complicated, but she gives a lot of examples of how lo is used. And she has a lot of very good
Por
examples.
ejemplo, puedes decir lo bueno, lo malo,
The good thing, the bad
lo
thing,
mejor,
the best thing,
lo importante,
the important thing,
lo peor,
the worst thing,
lo incómodo,
the uncomfortable
lo
thing,
interesante,
the interesting
lo
thing,
bonito, lo fácil,
the easy
lo
thing,
difícil,
the hard
y
thing.
así sucesivamente, ¿ok? Recuerda que siempre va a ser lo seguido de un adjetivo singular
Lo with a
masculino,
masculine word.
¿sí? Por ejemplo, puedes decir, lo mejor de la película fue el final.
The best thing about the movie was the
Ending.
Finish, the ending.
ending. Right? El final, the last part, the ending. Fue el final, and that fue just means it was. So don't worry about that fue word. Was the ending. You could change fue to es. Lo mejor de la película es el final. Es el final, is the ending. The best thing about the movie is the ending. Wow, slam bang ending. Eso es. Okay, let's see another example.
Lo mejor de la película fue el final. Otros ejemplos. Lo importante es mantener una rutina diaria para practicar tu español.
The important thing about
Mantener.
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 Mantener una rutina.
Routine, having a routine.
Think maintenance.
Maintaining a routine.
Maintaining a routine.
Daily routine.
Yeah, daily. A daily routine. But would you say maintaining, or would you say keeping or sticking to? See what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Following. Yeah. We could have, instead of mantener, we could have stuck in seguir for follow or continue. But would it have the same meaning if I stuck a seguir in there instead of mantener? Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, lo importante. The important thing about keeping or staying on a daily routine es practicar tu español, is practicing, para practicar tu español, to practice your Spanish. Let's see some more examples.
Lo importante es mantener una rutina diaria para practicar tu español. Lo incómodo de viajar en avión es usar los baños.
And incómodo here, she said as the awkward thing, because awkward, there isn't really a good translation for awkward, yeah, but uncomfortable. The uncomfortable thing, the awkward thing about traveling on a plane is,
Using the
well,
bathroom.
es la verdad, es la pura
Sí.
verdad.
Sí.
Wow, sí, es usar los baños. Sí, estoy de acuerdo. Wow, I agree with that one.
Lo incómodo de viajar en avión es usar los baños. O un último ejemplo, aprender vocabulario es fácil.
Learning vocabulary is easy.
Lo difícil es ponerlo en práctica.
Lo difícil es ponerlo en práctica. And lo description didn't lead off the sentence. So look, we can plug it in different order. Yeah. It might not be the first half of the sentence. It might be the second half. Es posible. Lo difícil es ponerlo en práctica. The hard thing, the difficult thing. See? And we always say this word thing in English. We throw that out all the time. Okay. Thing is kind of, maybe you want to think of lo as thing. If that helps you, I just think of it as lo with a description. Lo with a description. Okay.
Aprender vocabulario es fácil. Lo difícil es ponerlo en práctica. También puedes utilizar los superlativos. ¿Okay?
And here comes más, Marcos. Here comes your más question.
Es decir, utilizar.
So you can plug in gradations, comparison kind of words with that descriptor. So it might be the more uncomfortable thing or the least uncomfortable, right? We can have más, which means more, or menos, which is less. So we can add or subtract to the intensity by adding más or menos in there. So let's see how she did that.
O lo menos, okay? Lo más fácil.
The easiest thing, not just the easy thing. We're putting it at the top of the easiest, absolute easiest thing.
Lo más difícil.
The hardest thing, lo más difícil. So we can add those intensifiers. Yeah. Those things that give us a range of making it more or less, más or menos. We can add that in there too. The least interesting thing, lo menos interesante.
Lo más importante.
The most important thing.
Etcétera. ¿Ok? Y ahora te pregunto, ¿qué es lo fácil y lo difícil de estudiar español para ti?
What's the
easiest
thing or the
difficult thing?
Hardest thing, the most difficult thing about
Studying Spanish.
And notice we don't really have an about. We have the word de.
Yeah.
There's our about. Yeah. So they won't say sobre. I know if you look up about, a lot of times you see sobre, and sobre can mean about, but with this structure, you will not hear people use sobre as much. You're going to hear de. You'll hear de. Okay.
¿Qué es lo fácil y lo difícil de estudiar español para ti? Dime en los comentarios. El uso número 2 es la combinación lo que.
And let's see how lo que changes that. Lo que, we're adding not just a descriptor, but like kind of a mini sentence. Yeah.
Lo que. Acá en el canal hay un video completo en donde explico
actually, she's got a different video on lo que.
Detalles de cómo usar lo que, ¿ok? En ese video te doy 3 usos diferentes y bien específicos, ¿sí? Voy a dejarte el link en la descripción para que vayas a verlo cuando
so don't worry about the harder.
No antes. Pero básicamente lo que forma un pronombre relativo.
a relative pronoun, you don't care. No one cares. I think I will use a relative pronoun. No, you're never going to say that to yourself.
Así lo llamamos.
Learn the pattern. Learn the
oraciones.
pattern.
Por ejemplo,
It connects to ideas. It connects to mini sentences. Okay.
si digo, no entendí lo que me explicaste.
Now this uses past, so let's just take that off the table. Entendí looks like it's from entender, right? It just means the past of I understood. And no entendí, I didn't understand. And instead of saying I don't understand right now, it's saying I didn't understand. No entendí lo que me explicaste. I didn't understand what you told me or what you explained to me. I didn't understand, you explained to me. Those are too many sentences, and we're joining them with lo que. I didn't understand the thing that you just explained.
Mhm.
Yeah. Bien? Okay. Más ejemplos, more examples. And this is how he was using lo que me gusta, what I like.
No entendí lo
And the
que
other
me
video.
explicaste. Tengo dos oraciones. No entendí y me explicaste. Para unirlas, yo
To
utilizo
combine
lo
them,
que.
we've got lo que in the
No
middle.
entendí lo que me explicaste. ¿Ok? O también se puede utilizar al principio de una oración.
And now she's going to lead off a sentence with it.
Por ejemplo, si digo, lo que me gusta de viajar es conocer nuevos lugares.
What I like about traveling is getting familiar with or getting to know new places. Yeah. And now she does not have lo que joining two sentences. She's saying what, the thing that I like about traveling, de viajar. Okay.
Lo que me gusta de viajar es conocer nuevos lugares. O lo que menos me gustó de la película fue el final.
What I liked the least about the movie was the ending.
Lo que menos me gustó de la película fue el final. Y ojo, un punto importante a tener en cuenta cuando usamos lo
Important
que
thing to keep in
es
mind.
que, escucha bien, siempre va seguido de un verbo conjugado.
Lo que is always followed by a verb that is conjugated in some way.
Siempre va seguido.
So it's followed by a mini sentence. A sentence has to have a subject and a verb. Yeah? So lo que is going to be followed by some kind of verb.
Conjugado. No usamos verbos en infinitivo.
So you won't use like like the infinitive, the AR, ER, IR. It's got to be a conjugated
Después de lo
verb.
que, tampoco usamos sustantivos ni adjetivos.
Okay.
Lo que siempre va seguido de un verbo conjugado. Y tenemos grupos de palabras que puedes empezar a usar.
And let's see some examples she's got here.
Lo que menos me gustó.
Lo que más me gusta, lo que menos me gustó. And here she put it in the past, but you can use it with me gusta. What I like the best, what I like the least. Bien. Lo que no me gusta, what I don't like. Lo que no me gusta es la cantidad de conjugaciones. What I don't like is the amount, the number of conjugations that you have to learn. Okay. Let's find a little an easier. I think she's going to graduate maybe into another thing. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to get out of that. Let's, I am going to give you some prompts to try to use that next week. Okay. And that where you can plug in some ideas. So you'll get something to practice that with next week. Game? Vale?
Yeah.
Okay. See? Let's clean up some things with reflexives or clean up in that. I asked you, we're going to switch gears now. We're going to switch gears to let's get some examples of reflexive verbs that are important for you. Yeah. And I'll show you a little bit about where they might shift so that you're prepared for that. Sometimes where they go in a sentence might shift a little bit, but don't let that trick you or fool you or get you all discombobulated. Just know that sometimes that will happen. Let's take a quick look. You had a great big 100. You're not going to use all of those. You are not going to use all of those. But I asked you to take a look at this list and pick some examples. I want you to pick maybe some of your best examples of what verbs would you use a lot, and give me a sentence that you made up with that.
I can give one.
Okay, vale.
Okay.
Gracias, Karen.
Okay. Me pruebo muchos zapatos antes de comprar un par.
Me pongo. I put on a lot of shoes before I choose one to buy, right?
Sí, sí.
Me pongo muchos zapatos. I put on a lot of shoes. I try them on. Bien, perfecto.
So if we're just gonna do these randomly, how about me enojo cuando hay demasiado tráfico?
Me enojo cuando hay demasiado tráfico. I get mad when there is too much traffic. Yeah, sí, eso es. That's it, man. Sí, eso es. I estoy de acuerdo. I agree. Okay, vale, perfecto. Bien, ¿algo más?
I have one. Me visto temprano todos los días.
Me he visto temprano. I get dressed really early, right away. ¿Sí? Bien. Me he visto. I get dressed. Perfecto. Otro ejemplo.
I'll try one. Me ocupo mi jardín todas las mañanas.
I take care of, I'm busy with my garden, my yard. Eso es, sí, bien.
Yes.
Otro ejemplo. Another example of a verb that you picked off your list.
Yo, I got one here. Oh, go ahead.
Ooh, go ahead.
Yo, yo levantarme a las 7 mañana.
Am I having the only one having a hard time hearing her?
Yeah,
No, I
possibly.
can hear. Yeah.
It could be my system. I don't know. Oh, perdón.
Oh.
Momentito. Sí.
Oh.
Por eso.
Can other people hear?
Lo que no me gusta de mi equipo es eso. Ok, mejor. Otra vez. Perdón. I am so sorry.
No.
Repite, por favor. And you know what? It's not liking this. Okay. Can you guys hear me, first of all, or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And I may have a little hard time hearing you a little bit because I plugged this in and now it doesn't like it. And rather than turn everything off, which I would kind of have to do. Oh, okay. Otra vez, one more time, and I'm going to try to.
Can you hear me now?
Ah,
Okay.
funciona. It works. Okay, bien. Perdón.
Yo levantarme a las 7 mañana.
Presentarme.
I know, oh, I don't know. Maybe I didn't conjugate the verb right.
Well, let's think about it. So what do you want to say? And then we'll just kind of backstep it.
I get up at 7 o'clock.
Me levanto.
Mm,
Me levanto.
levanto.
Me levanto. I get up.
Levanto. Okay, I don't know why I was putting.
Me
Why I did
levanto.
that.
Okay, so that's levantarme, or levantarse, right? When you look these verbs up in the dictionary, they always have a se, like a little caboose on the end of the train, yeah? And we move that se to the front, and it might be me, te, se. It depends on who you're talking about. Me levanto a las 7, a las 8, a las 6, lo que sea, whatever that time may be. Me levanto. I get up.
Levanto.
Bueno, bien. Otro ejemplo. Any other sentences that you have pulled together things that you will use.
I put one together just because it was different. Mis hermanos se afeitan en la mañana. Afeitan.
Se afeitan, shave.
Ujú.
Sí, sí, eso es. Muy bien, muy bien. A ver, bueno. I like the verb fijarse, fijarse, to notice, to pay attention to something. Por ejemplo, me fijo en la condición de las plantas en mi patio. Me fijo en la condición de las plantas en el patio. I notice, I pay attention to, I notice, condition. Me fijo en la mala condición de mis plantas en el patio. ¿Bien? Ok. Vale. Bueno.
I use one with two. Can you tell me if this is right? I'm not sure. La familia se queda la ropa para se pone los trajes de baño.
Se quita.
Ajá,
Se quita. Se quita, takes off.
ajá.
¿Sí?
La ropa.
La ropa. To.
Se pone or se pone.
Y se pone.
Los trajes de baño.
Okay. Y se pone el traje de baño, and it'll be singular probably, and I will tell you why. Y se pone el traje de baño and puts on a swimsuit. And you may say, wait a minute, my whole family's putting on swimsuits. Aren't they putting on swimsuits? But each person is only putting on this many swimsuits.
Yeah.
With clothing, it's kind of a weird thing. When a lot of people put on clothing, we all assume they're only putting on, unless they're socks or gloves. Yeah. So, sí, se pone. Y se pone el traje de baño. Bien.
Okay, so it shouldn't have been trajes. It should just be traje de baño.
El traje de baño, el traje de baño. But would somebody understand you? Sí, exacto. Yeah. Eso es.
Could I do the two that I talked to you about just before we kind of got going? And because this was like an aha moment for me. So the first one is with sentarse, which is to sit down. And it is, or I wrote down, me siento en el sofá cuando veo tele.
Perfecto. Me siento en el sofá cuando veo la tele. Perfecto.
And the key words for this little, what I'm trying to say here is me siento, I sit down. And then kind of right there in the same part of the list is sentirse, for feel, to feel. And I wrote down, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, aha. Me siento cansada cuando duermo menos de 5 horas.
Exacto, me siento, sí.
Once again, it starts with me siento. And I went, and I spent a while trying to figure this out, and then Marilyn said, nope, that's right. That both of those with first, me, I, is siento.
Eso es. That's exactly right. Sí, exactamente. So know that sentarse, an AR verb, is to sit down, but sentirse, an IR verb, is to feel a certain way. See, me siento cansado. Doesn't mean somebody is sitting down tired. Yeah. But you know that from the context, because the context is cansado, is a feeling. So if somebody combines me siento with cansado, they're talking about how they feel. Me siento cansado, me siento relajado, I feel relaxed, me siento tranquilo, I feel calm, chilled out, me siento muy nerviosa, I feel nervous, me siento bien, I feel great, me siento mal, I feel lousy. Bien, exacto. So how these words hang together, it's really the same situation as that little word lo. The me siento with no context will be, which thing does he mean? But me siento en el sofá, nobody's going to question which of those verbs you mean. En el sofá totally makes sense about sitting down. Perfecto.
It was still an aha moment to just see that it was the same exact verb when it was conjugated there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right. The yo form is the only form that will be a little confusing because the yo form always uses o as an ending. So, right. You have to have definitely more context to figure out which verb you mean. Perfecto. Bien, 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 bien. Otros ejemplos. Any other examples you want to share, show off a little bit? No?
I'll
Nada?
do one. Mi
Bien.
nieta se pinta las uñas naranja. Mi nieta se pinta
Se
las
pinta.
se pinta las uñas naranja.
Sí. Se pinta las uñas. Paints her fingernails. Sí, eso es. Sí. Se pintarse, paint yourself is what you do when you put, polish on, right? Eso es. That is perfectly correct. Es correcto. Fantástico. Ok. Vale. ¿Hay más ejemplos o no? Any other examples? Sí.
Oh,
Cindy.
It will be a question as well as the right form. Nos divertimos enseñando inglés a los niños de Afganistán.
Sí. Bien. Teaching English to people from the other countries. Eso es, sí. Bueno. Ok. ¿Hay más ejemplos o no? Okay. I'm going to wrap up and kind of tie this in a bow a little bit. Un poquito. I'm sure you'll have other examples, and that's fine and fitting and all good. But we're going to take a look at what happens with these words. And I'm going to show you a great big long list of words because this is going to be about actually not just the reflexives, but all kinds of different pronouns. So I'm going to need a pretty big box here. So this will be about the me, te, se, nos, se. These are the reflexives, but this will be a guideline that will also work for other kinds of pronouns. The me, se, nos, and se again are reflexives, but this will also be the case for me, te, lo, or la, for nos again, for los, las, darn, I got out of my thing here. It's going to make me do a whole new screen because I hit the wrong key. I'm getting used to a new keyboard besides a whole new screen. I'm adjusting to many things and using them badly. And it will also work for, momentito, me, bien, te, le, nos, y les. No matter what kind of object pronoun you have. Now, we're not talking about subject pronouns, who does the action. We're talking about object pronouns. So no matter if it is reflexive, me, te, se, nos, and se again, direct objects, me, te, lo, la, nos, or los, las. I'm sorry, we don't have our las on the screen. And or indirect, me, te, le, nos, and les. No matter what, all of those are objects. Reflexive pronouns, direct object pronouns, indirect object pronouns. Any of those kinds of pronouns receive action, okay? So this rule you're going to see next is going to talk about where do those little pronouns go? Well, you thought I already know that. Well, you mostly know that. But there are going to be some little exceptions to the rule that may be a curveball that you want to be looking for. So this is just to get you used to the curveballs that will at times come your way. And I will send you the link to this also. Object pronoun placement. So you'll notice this does not say reflexive. What it means is any of those things from that box, reflexive pronouns, direct object pronouns, or indirect, it doesn't matter what, if it's an object receiving the action, right? Any of those kinds of pronouns usually have a fixed position, but they sometimes may get a little different position in a sentence. So, and I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. This is kind of small print here. Mejor, better, even better. Yeah. So you'll notice they've listed direct, and reflexive. They usually precede the verbs they modify. So they usually come right in front of the verb. Okay. This is a thing that as English speakers, we have to drill into our heads because we don't do that in English, right? Me siento, I sit myself down. Well, we don't even say that. I sit down, right? But mi esposo me llama por teléfono. My husband's calling me on the phone. Mi esposo me llama. My husband, me, he calls. Me, he calls. Me llama. Right? I'm receiving that call. And we have to drill that because we say he's calling me. Right? But it's got to be me llama. He calls me. So we have to get used to this idea of the me, te, no, se, whatever pronoun it is coming in front of the verb. It is hard for us to do that. Okay? Because it goes against what your English speaking brain wants to do. But okay, this is going to show you. However, sometimes you may hear different you may use a different marker, a different position, a different place for those pronouns when you're using an infinitive or a gerund. That means the ing word, the ing word, and affirmative commands. And notice they say affirmative commands. What the heck is an affirmative command? An affirmative command is sit down. Wash the car, flush the toilet. Yeah. Hey, fry me an egg. Are you frying me? No, you're frying the egg for me. Yeah. But okay, all those things, fry me an egg, flush the toilet. Yeah. Hey, watch this show, sit down. All those things are commands. And when they're affirmative commands, they just mean go do it. Yeah. Because, of course, a negative command will do, the negative command will do this. The pronoun comes in front of the verb. Like, don't sit down. Yeah. Like, oh, don't eat that. That's a negative command. Yeah. It's got a no in front of it. says don't do it. But negative commands, the pronoun will be like you first learned. No pronoun verb. Yeah. So negative commands follow what regular nouns do. Regular nouns do pronoun right in front of the verb. Negative commands do the same thing. No pronoun in front of the verb. But when I've got certain cases like using infinitives, using the ing word, and using an affirmative command, a lot of these pronouns are going to get attached onto the end of the verb. Oh. So let's take a look at what that means. And I'll send you this whole thing so you can see all the examples. All right. With an infinitive, and the infinitive means I haven't conjugated the verb. All right. When one or more, because there might be like a couple of them together, when one or more pronouns are used with a verb in an infinitive, okay. And don't worry about the perfect infinitive part. The pronouns usually get attached to the end. So let's see some examples. Por ejemplo, salió sin verlo. He left without seeing it. Sin verlo. Sin, a preposition, means I have to keep ver in the infinitive form. Yeah. Verbs after a preposition have to stay in their infinitive form. Sin verlo, without seeing it. Salió sin verlo. He left. That's the salió part. He left. Sin verlo, without seeing it. Okay. That's ver is just the infinitive. Limpié la casa para venderla. I cleaned the house to sell it because I don't want people looking through a dirty house. They don't want to buy it, right? Limpié, and that, don't worry about it. It's just a past tense verb. Limpié means I cleaned. Limpié la casa tells what I cleaned. Para venderla, in order to sell it. So if I've got an infinitive that is not conjugated, like vender, and I want to say sell it, and the it is a house, right? It'll have to be venderla. And this will work for direct objects, for reflexives, for anything. Okay? Yeah. I've got a non-conjugated verb, vender, so I attach it. When I've got an infinitive, that's really the only thing I can do with the little pronoun that it's hanging there like a hangnail. Cindy?
Using ver, unconjugated verb, and vender, unconjugated. One of them we read as seeing, ing, and the other one is to sell.
Oh,
which is
yes.
what it means.
That is
And-
that is just what we do in English.
Yeah.
But
I've
yeah.
been, well, on Duo, I've had several of them where I have used to see, let's say to sell, and they've come up with selling. I've been wrong, and they've put it, and I
Yes.
think it can be done both ways.
It
Yeah.
in English, it's kind of it
think
depends on what you do. Yeah. Nobody in English would say he left without to see it. We can't do that in English. And how do you explain that? You say, oh, well, you just don't do it. You just say seeing. But in Spanish, we can't.
Right. Yeah.
We've got to use the infinitive there. And we have to use the infinitive because the action is following the word seen. Seen is a preposition. Every verb, 100% of the time that comes after the word seen, a preposition has to be infinitive. Any verb following right next to, right after a preposition has to be the infinitive form in Spanish.
Infinitive.
It's just a rule they have. In English, we wouldn't use that word ver as to see. We would use it as seeing. That's just the way we do it in English. Whereas here, we do use it as to sell. Yeah.
Mhm.
I cleaned the house. You wouldn't say I cleaned the house selling it. I cleaned it in order to sell it. To sell it. It's just what they do. So we can attach these pronouns to infinitives. Okay. Another example, and look at what will happen if I've got two verbs together, and I'm kind of looking at the clock. We're going to run out of time, so we're going to have to carry this over. If I've got two verbs working together, this is a little different than what you saw in the above case. I've got two places that the infinitive or that the pronoun word can go. Lo quiero vender. I want to sell. That follows the rule you first learned. Put the lo in front of the conjugated verb, yeah? But because I've got two verbs next to each other, one conjugated, one not, I can either say it as lo quiero vender or quiero venderlo. Quiero venderlo. I want to sell it. That quiero venderlo, that particular order is like our English order. Now, lo can be attached to the unconjugated infinitive. There are two things that are allowed. It can go in front of the first verb that's conjugated. And both of those things are correct. And if you ask me, well, which one is more common? Honestly, I probably hear more people doing the first thing, lo quiero vender, but they're both correct. And what somebody chooses to use is whatever they feel like at that moment. Yeah. Let's look at another combination of two verbs together because we're showing you infinitives. See, we've got infinitives here, infinitives that are not conjugated. Me voy a lavar. I'm going to wash up. Yeah. When I don't mention whether it's like everything, just my face, just my hands. Yeah. But instead of saying me voy a lavar, I can also equally correctly say voy a lavarme. They're both right. So when I've got two verbs working together, right, those pronouns, me, te, no, se, they can come either way, right in front of the conjugated verb or attached. Bien? I think what I'm going to do, since we're running a little bit late, I am going to send you also some practice, and it won't be a finished practice. I'll have a sentence, and I'll put way at the end of the sentence a pronoun I want you to use with it. And I want you to show me where it can be used in a two-verb combo. Okay?
Good.
And I will make them all reflexive. And we're just looking right now at the pronoun with the infinitive. And really, you're going to see less of this just infinitive, but no, that may happen. We're going to look at more of these combinations of two verbs working together because first verb is conjugated, second verb is infinitive, not conjugated. And that's what people will really be using more. Okay, that's what you need more in actual conversation mode. So I'm going to send you a way to practice this, and I'm going to send you also some prompts to practice those little lo and lo que ideas. See? Bien? Good?
Bien.
Fantastico. I will send you also a listening video just for the sake of just listening to people talk and not about any grammar in particular. This will be about actually, I've already got it picked out. It'll just be about summertime talk again. And she's going to talk to a bunch of friends about what they like or what summer is like for them in the particular part of her country. Bien, right there. That hola, el verano en España, summer in Spain. And listen for different things we've talked about so far this summer. Listen to that video you've got 3 times and you'll catch certain little things, little reflexives, or you'll just, if you pay real close attention, like on the second or third listen, you'll start to pick up little tidbits of things we have studied over the summer here and there, whether they are reflexives or, combining el, la, los, las with a describer, or, number of different things. I just want you to see how many things you can pick out. See? Bien?
Bien.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll have some prompts and some fun things to listen to in a purely chit-chat conversation. ¿Todo bien?
Okay.
Yeah,
Fantástico.
Gracias.
Okay. Cuídense. Take care of yourselves. Cuídense. I attach it to the end. Take care of yourselves. Cuídense. Bien. Sí.
Bien, bien.
Cuídense con este calor agobiante. Take care of yourselves with this draining heat. Bien.
Can we say igualmente?
Igualmente, sí. Espero que sí. Ay, sí, espero que sí. Tengo que trabajar. Esta semana tengo que trabajar un poco en el patio de enfrente y detrás, y tengo que levantarme. Tengo que levantarme. I have to get up muy temprano, como a las 5 de la mañana. Tengo que levantarme muy temprano por la mañana para trabajar en el jardín.
Ujú.
Y antes del calor del día. Before the heat of the day. God. Okay. Pero nos vemos muy pronto.